Hello everybody. It's January, so the weather sucks, but I really can't avoid doing this video because everybody's going to ask about it. I did finally purchase a new car. Bought it on the 21st. And the sun's out right now and it's not frigid, so I figured let's do a video of it. So the first thing is that people are going to unsubscribe, I'm pretty sure, when they see, yep, go ahead and unsubscribe. Oh no, I'm going to lose so many subscribers. Yes, guys, I bought a Ford. Get over it. With that said, this is a 2010 Ford Explorer Eddie Bauer. This thing retailed for $53,000 back in 2010, and I have the window sticker to prove it. So I took some stuff out of it, but I have been driving it the past few days now that it has insurance and stuff on it. So there's some stuff in there that I didn't take out, but I took a lot of the bigger stuff out. Cosmetically, I haven't done anything to it. This is as found. I haven't washed it. I haven't waxed it. It needs a detail. That's coming. But, like, body-wise, this is how I got it. I really like the front end of this truck. It's real nice. And yes, this is a truck. It's body on frame. It originally came from Wisconsin, so it has a front license plate bracket, which I'm going to be using. The original owner leased it in Wisconsin and then turned it back into the dealership, and the woman I bought it from lived right at the Wisconsin-Michigan border up in the UP, so she bought it, and she lived in the UP up until COVID when she moved right down here. So this thing spent a lot of its life in the UP and Wisconsin, and unfortunately the body shows that. It's got a piece of the bumper that's chipped there. This thing is not perfect. It has a few cosmetic issues and a few small mechanical issues, but overall it's pretty nice. These are Toyo Celsius tires. They are 245/65/17s. The rims are in pretty good shape. The tires could use a rotation, but they're only about 2 years old, so they're not bad. Here's where you can see some of the Michigan starting to come in. Right there. Has running boards. I believe there was an option for power running boards, but this one does not have it. It's a pretty decent color. I like the gold cladding. I don't know if I would have necessarily bought this color. It's kind of blah, but it's better than black or something. The back door has some scratches that you can see here. It looks like somebody may have keyed it, but you can't feel them. It does have the keypad, which does work. I have the code for it. That sticker was on it. I'm leaving it because I don't feel like taking it off. The back end, you can see the bumper has a little mark there. The back end is pretty attractive, I think. I think I like it more than the pre-facelift version with the single color taillights. And yes, the license plate is dirty. That hitch is factory. It's a class 3. And I'm probably going to be getting an actual ball for it at some point because this thing can tow 3,500 pounds. Passenger side. Fuel doors on the passenger side, which, I don't know, some people would be bothered by. It does have a little bit of bubbling starting right here, which isn't surprising. It's a pretty good size, too. It's just big enough to feel burly, but it's not, like, hard to drive. It does drive like a truck, but that's because it is one. Same rust over here, although not as bad. You can see it's just a little crack there. So let's take a look at this thing. Here are the keys. I only have one set of keys. It's just a typical Ford key with the remote. It does have automatic lights. If it's actually dark out, the fog lights and the turn signal lights will illuminate, but it's not dark out. Now that it's darker out, I'll show you how the lights actually come on when you hit unlock. That's normally what they do. Fog lights with that come on, and then the mirror indicators, and then the tail lights, and then they go away after a while. Obviously the interior lights come on, but then if you lock it while it's here, everything goes off. But yeah, it's a Ford thing. It just gives you a little more light, so that's that. Come inside. Nice door panel with the wood. So here's where the rust starts to show. This one is not too bad. You can see here, it's still mostly attached. It gets bad in the back. These are my floor mats. The floor under it is just black. Two-tone leather seats, kind of a beige with a black, not too worn. There is an option for the seat to move back automatically when you put the, or forward automatically when you put the key in the ignition, but I disabled that because I don't like the seat moving all the time and wearing the motor out. But it has wood here, door pockets. I guess we'll start it up. It's right at the right height too, and I'm 5'8", where I can get in it without using the running board. More Michigan Cancer. Steering wheel. So right now, that's when the seat would move forward, but I disabled that. Has 151,000 miles on it. It's going to say that there's low washer fluid. I added some, but it keeps saying that, so I'm not sure what the deal is there. But let's start it up. It is warm, so it fired right up. It's telling me the door is open. Roll that down. The headlights are automatic, and they will come on fully by themselves if it's dark enough out, but it's not, so we're going to turn them on manually with the fog lights and the hazards. Halogen headlights, as you would imagine. Fog lights, which are kind of gimmicky, but whatever, they're nice to have. And then in the back, so this is what's interesting. The bottom is actually the turn signal and the brake light. The top is just a running light. You would think you would have a brake light and a separate turn signal, but nope. Even though they could have done it, they didn't. I'm not sure why. I like how on most Fords the turn signals are nice and slow. It's much nicer aesthetic. Does not have mirror indicators, but it does have these lights at the bottom. Let me clear the... Oh, it's not going to let me clear it unless I have the door closed. Come on, there we go. 151,643 miles. I put about 20 on it since I got it. Pop the hood. Here's where this thing is pretty cool. Turn these off. I forgot. I'm so used to them being on the middle. So here's where this thing is actually pretty cool. You're probably thinking, oh, it's the 4-liter V6 that's in all the Explorers. Nope. This one is a V8. The 4.6-liter 3-valve V8. This was an option on all the trim levels, but what I really like is that there is no badging anywhere on this that says V8. And that was the thing, because some of them have the badging here, but this one does not have that, and I love it. Working on these is kind of a pain because it's a huge engine in a tiny bay. You can hear the timing chains clicking. And it's pretty powerful. It moves this thing around pretty good. Except when you have to work on it or do the spark plugs, because you can see how crammed in there it is. Honestly, I would have rather had the V6, but what you got to think about, you really got to slam that hood down. What you have to think about is the fuel economy on the V6 was 14 city, 20 highway. The fuel economy on this is 14 city, 19 highway. The horsepower on the V6 is 210. The horsepower on this is 292. And there's a plane. So really, it was like a $1,500 option to get the V8 on this trim level, because you could get the Eddie Bauer with the V6. You would have been stupid not to, in my opinion. So, we'll get inside, start going over the features of this thing. The driver's window is automatic down and up, the rest are manual. Window switch, locks, headlight switch there with the gauge dimmer. The mirror controls, you got a vent. Obviously I put the phone grips in, and the snowflake. Horn is kind of weak in my opinion. The steering wheel controls, you can see here you have the cruise, the accelerate and decelerate, the resume, the off and on, and then over here you have the controls for the radio with the phone, volume, seek, and the voice and media. The turn signal stock is really far up compared to most cars. I'm used to it now. But at the beginning it was like, oh, I really got to reach up there. You have the wiper controls on the end for the front. One of the only problems with this car is that the rear wiper is broken, so when you turn it on, you can hear it try to work, but it doesn't, and you can move the wiper blade by hand. She's put 2 motors in it and gave up on that one. You have the information display, which is pretty cool. Right now it is showing miles to empty, but if we hit info, you can see the average fuel economy. Fuel economy there. Fuel used. Drive time, which for some reason doesn't activate. I think you have to set it. You can see nothing. Trip A and trip B, which that's how many miles I put on it actually at this point. So subtract that and you'll get how many miles I bought it with. And it has a compass, 109 miles till empty, which I think is kind of optimistic because it's right at a quarter almost. So I don't know. But 16 miles per gallon around town is pretty good, I'd say. Pretty simple to read gauges, tach on that side and a speedo on this side. Hazards, obviously. If you hit setup, you can see, show you, units, you can see the language, the automatic lights, the auto lock and auto unlock with the shifter, easy entry, which is the seat thing, the park aid, which is parking sensors, the trailer sway, which I don't know what that is, but it was set to on, reset, different stuff, and then go back there, reset. Obviously you control them with these buttons right there. You got a nice tray. I keep my sunglasses there. Rear view mirror is auto dimming and it's nice and big. The radio is just a typical Ford radio. It's a 6 CD changer with an aux jack and the Microsoft Sync system with the USB. The backlight works when it wants to. I don't think it's going to work now. No, Now, the backlight, I haven't figured out why, but you can kind of see it. It comes on intermittently. Volume, you got menu, different presets. The 4 button is kind of broken, but it works if you press it carefully. Not used to having the radio up here because the climate controls are down here. You have info setup reset. This is the traction control off. You have the 4x4 buttons. 4x4 auto is 2, and then if it detects slippage, it goes into 4. Vents, which I'm not a huge fan of. I can't really get them to blow on me where I want, even though I adjust them. So, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the vents. Climate control system, unlike a GM product, is very easy to use. You just hit a zone right there. You control the temperature like this. You can do Fahrenheit and Celsius. You can do outside temperature. You can do fan speed. You can do auto if you want. We're just going to do back to that. Turn that down. You can control the passengers one separately. It's a dual zone. You can see the dual light came on. You turn it off. AC recirc, rear defrost, front defrost. Different zones down there. And then off right there. Not sure what that noise is, but I'm not too concerned about it. You have the memory seats, which are pretty cool. You have adjustable pedals. The driver's side heated seat and the passenger side one. The driver's side one doesn't work. My guess is that it's just unplugged. It's a 6-speed automatic transmission. Low gear. And then the overdrive off button right there. I don't love the shift lever, but I mean, it's better than alternative. Would have preferred a column shift, but Ford liked their floor shifters. 2 cup holders that are great size. You can remove, well, this is out, like my dad's Escape. If you want bigger ones, you can remove this. And that was sticky. You have a little spot you can put sunglasses. I have pens there, and then you have 1 of 3 cigarette lighters in this thing. Glove box, which is full of stuff, but it has all the manuals and my insurance and stuff. Good driving position. I really like the driving position of this thing. Up here you have the sun visor with my garage door opener. The sun visor is kind of cheap. Like, it really doesn't belong in a $50,000 car, and it slides if you really pull. I don't know. In my opinion, this doesn't belong in a car like this. You have a sunroof here, which in my opinion has the best controls I've ever seen. You want to slide it? Hit slide. Close it like that. You want to tilt it? I don't understand why all sunroofs can't be this easy. You get the 3-button crap, the 1-button crap, just do this. It's easier, please. Ford did it right. Different dome lights. The mirror again. You have a center console here, which has another cigarette lighter, a USB, and an aux jack with some stuff in it. It's not huge. The one in our Escape was bigger. It has a little spot there to store stuff. really, that's all there is up here. It's not a ton. We'll look at the seats here in a minute. The door handle is kind of weird. It's this thing. You pull on it and it's telling me the door is ajar. That thing will change colors. Red is attention, yellow is like a warning, and then green is normal. So when I open it, it switches. Here, I'll rev it now. Sounds awesome. It is an electronic pedal, which I'm having to get used to, but it's not the worst it could be, I suppose. Okay, so I'll show you the seats here. They're, I think, 10-way powered. Do that. And then lumbar. If we hit 2, the pedals move and the seat moves. This was the former lady's driving position, and then if we hit 1 on mine, pedals move. There they go. I'll show you what the easy entry is. So, basically, we'll go into the menu, which is when it wants to... That's the one thing about this thing. You can't do it when the door's open. It bothers me. You have to reset this first. There you go. I'll show you here if you turn that on. Now, if you get out of the car and you turn the key off, watch. And then when you put the key in, the thing that bothers me the most is that the key doesn't stay in this position, so if you let go, it pisses me off. That's why I don't like it, and because it just puts premature wear on the seats that nobody needs. Why do you want premature wear on the seats? Stupid. Go back, off. Thank you. Okay. That's better. So here's where I'll show you the rust tends to get pretty bad after the mail truck comes. When you open the door, this is where the rust is bad. And for the record, this is as far open as the door gets. It's not very wide. Bottom is okay, but like you can see here, I mean, yeah, you can like stick your hand in there and this whole piece could come off if I wanted to. This piece of weather stripping is supposed to be up like this, but it just sits. It's bad. And then this corner here, all on the inside, this whole wheel well is gonna rust soon. You can see it's already starting up here, so I imagine these fender wells aren't long for this world either. Anyways, the back seat, I have my mats. It's pretty good size. You can seat 3 people comfortably, I'd say. Screw it, I'll just get back here, get away from the mail truck. So once you're back here, this seat is not all the way back, but it's where I would sit. I got pretty good room. The seat belts are adjustable. I tend to keep them about right there because I like them down on my shoulder. The headrests are adjustable too, not by much because Ford uses really tall headrests. Seat back pocket here, seats move. 2 more cup holders, you've got some vents here. I don't know if they work or not. You got a little control for them, and you have the 3rd and final cigarette lighter. I think this seat is back a little more. It's not bad. No cup holders in the middle because Ford puts them there. I think you could seat 3 people pretty comfortably back here. And there's not a big hump for the drive shaft either, which is nice. The transmission, pretty decent back here. Same weird door handles. The door has a creak like my Monte Carlo did. The running boards though, I mean, they're not falling off. They're solid on there. The frame on this thing is solid. Let's see if I can show you. I mean, look, the frame is perfect. It's just a little superficial. Frame on this thing is great. Sorry. Oh yeah, and it has the child locks. So back here, you can't open the glass up by its... Oh yeah, this is what I meant with the wiper. So yeah. The glass can be opened one of 2 ways. You can pop it here where it says glass release, or on the key, there's a button you press. Kind of useless in a car with a trunk this small because you can just open the tailgate, but it's there when you want it. And then if you open the tailgate, not much trunk space here with the third row up. Really, this is one of those SUV trucks where you can either have 7 people or you can carry stuff. That's pretty much how it is. This is just like the jacking equipment and stuff, because the spare tire is obviously right there. Fuel door, which is not rusting down here, which is nice. Same seat back here. No door pockets, which is interesting. I will show you if you want to get into the third row. Ideally, you pull that. Okay, that side is not letting me do it for some reason, but let's try it on this side. Pull that. Drop this down, and then you can pick it up here and put the whole thing forward. It doesn't really stay because the seat is back, but it does give you enough room to come in here and sit. And then you pull this back up. There's a stain down there. I'm getting this thing detailed soon. Other than the seats being super narrow, there's a cup holder, a seat belt. It's not terrible back here. The leg room is actually good. It's just the foot room isn't. Just 2 seats. There is a red tab you can pull. This is just a handle to pull it with, but there is a little red tab you can pull here that will put the seat down, and it messed it all up because the seat... There we go. Let's try this red tab and see if it'll unlatch. There's more cup holders. That's what I was looking for, except it's not gonna because the... There we go. And then if we get out on this side, I'll see if I can lift it up here. You do actually have to... The red tab... Oh! Didn't know that. The red tab does lift it up all the way. So we can do that. Easier, obviously, there than here. There's some dog food. They didn't clean this thing out very well. And then if you pull here, I don't know. It's weird. Some of the handles do stuff, some of them don't. I just broke more rust off of it. Not as bad on this side. Bottom of the door. I'll show you, though. If we leave that down, then we come back here, pull that, and this one likes to get stuck, and then do this. Look at all the room you got now. It's amazing how much room this thing has. And even if you put the third row up, the seats do recline, which is kind of hard to show. I don't know why you would recline them, but you can. If we do that, and then we put that one up like that. It's kind of hard to do one-handed. So even in the configuration to carry 5 people, tons of room back here. I mean, it's great. I've just been leaving this up because I don't need the extra space. But if you wanted it, it's right there for you. So pretty configurable stuff you can do with this thing. Shut that. Passenger side, which the back of the seat is manual here, but the rest isn't. Well, the lumbar is. Pretty comfortable, surprisingly enough. This thing is very trucky. You can tell it's a truck. Mirror defrosters, which come on with the defroster. The one thing about this truck I do love, honestly, above all else, is that it was built in the US. My Monte Carlo wasn't. This was built in the Kentucky plant. Got the handle to help you with. And down here, this is where there's a big ass freaking hole, because the hole, yeah, it's not great. Frame is okay, and because this is a body on frame car, that's all I care about. Eventually the body will rust away to nothing, but we won't talk about that yet. So yeah. Oh yeah, and you can see here, there's a little sticker. And then she also left this sticker. I don't know if that's from her or the original owner. So here's the window sticker. It's got all the options there, Eddie Bauer, V8, whatever. I don't know how they figure that it's black, but it's black pearl slate according to them, even though it's not black. We don't look at the fuel economy. $35,000 back in the day, which that equates to 53 now. crash tests and stuff. And then I also have, I'm covering it, but this is the card with the door code on it. Just says Ford Motor Company, and then on the back is that. So yeah, that is a window sticker. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the truck. I will do a driving portion here in a little bit, but for now, that's it. Okay, let's get some driving footage. The squeaking you're hearing is my tripod. There's nothing I can do about it. Extremely quiet, other than the annoying squeaking from the tripod. Not even in the same league as a GM product from this era. It's a night and day difference. I don't think I'll ever go back to GM after driving this thing. Don't do this. No. tried to reach back there to save it, and it didn't work. We're almost at our destination, but not quite. Almost made it. I had a feeling that this wasn't going to go without a hitch. Okay, well this test drive was a fail. See if we can turn slowly. That's the problem with not having someone back there to help me. And we'll end it right here. These parking spots are small. Okay, well that is a driving portion other than the 22 beatings that my camera took. Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe and click like if you like what you see, and follow me on the web, wix.com/theelevatorworld/fans. Bye-bye.